I'm going to make a case for why Bitcoin can head up to $50,000 by June.
The question I ask myself is, could we be wrong? And Bitcoin is heading to $50,000. First of all, before you do anything, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Now, what I would say is I'm not going to be looking at the technical analysis. Nick does that. That's Nick's bag with Elliott Wave theory and all that wonderful stuff. And you can learn that. Go check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗠𝗃𝗠𝗀.com. Now, what I would say is I am going to be focused on what's happening in the real world, the banks, the financial landscape, and all that wonderful stuff to see, could we be going to $50,000 like George has said, or are we expecting lower lows? And, you know, that question is still open. Are we right? Are we wrong? We called the bottom in June, back in May. That bottom happened at the time. We said that didn't feel like enough pain. We expect lower lows. We got that in, I think, October, November. And, you know, throughout that whole period between June and those next lower lows coming in, we were told we were wrong, and we were having these magical indicators highlighted to us. Now, obviously, eventually we're going to be wrong about stuff. That happens. But look, I really am looking at the financial landscape, and it doesn't look good. But we're going to dig into it. I'm going to give you my thoughts and I guess reasoning why it could go to 50,000. But I'm also going to break that down and give you a reason why I think that we could see lower lows, or at least, you know, come back to a low. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, mash up that like button, subscribe, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Right, let's get down to the desktop. So we're going to start here and have a look at what's actually going on. So we got old school Signature Bank collapsed after its big crypto leap, right? So Signature, can't get my words out today, collapsed on Sunday when New York regulators swooped in after a surge of panicked withdrawals. So a run on the bank is basically the reason why this bank has collapsed, according to what we read. But I think there's a little bit more, you know, going on in this. But basically banks have been having a real hard time of late. We've seen a few other banks, I think, you know, 2 other banks collapse in the US, obviously one leading to USDC and other stable coins, you know, depegging. Again, something that I called there was I started purchasing as much USDC as I could, because, you know, I thought it was going to repeg. So, you know, again, for those that keep saying that we're never right about stuff, maybe you should jump into the Discord or become a Patreon member, because the Patreon members and the people in the Discord, you know, are really benefiting from alpha, like the fact that we called FTX collapse before it happened, before 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀 tweeted out. We highlighted BlockFi and many others. So look, if you want alpha, jump in the Discord, become a Patreon member as well.
Not use BitGet, linked in the description down below. They're offering some fantastic deals at the moment using the affiliate link in the description, where you deposit 50 USDT and you can get $10 cashback, USDT cashback on that initial deposit. Now, they also do deposit bonuses all the way up to $8,000 depending on how much you deposit, and a whole host of other tasks that you can do to complete to get fantastic offers and bonuses available. We also are running a competition with BitGet via our Discord server. It's a weekly competition that runs every single week, where you can win up to $100 USDT, and it is an ROI percentage based winner. So basically what that means is the person who has the best ROI percentage within the 7-day period will win the $100 USDT. So if that's of interest to you, why not sign up to BitGet, linked in the description down below. Join us down in Discord for more details on the trading competition. It's a reoccurring weekly competition. It happens every single week, so why not take part if you're a fantastic trader? Using our link with BitGet down below, you'll be automatically entered into the competition when you have $500 in your margin account. Guys, check it out, linked in the description below.
Signature Bank forced criminal probe ahead of firm's collapse. The SEC do what the SEC do best, and that is, you know, try to get as much money from collapsing companies as possible. rather than actually doing what is in their mission statement and protect investors. It's all reactive rather than proactive. And for me, you don't protect anybody by being reactive. You have to be proactive. So look, is there something a little bit more deeper going on with this signature bank? Possibly. But the point that I really want to make is that there's an awful lot of banks that are struggling for liquidity right now, right? And I'm going to come on to that in a moment as to why that is. We've got Credit Suisse, largest shareholder, rules out financial aid. Shares hit all-time low. So again, this is just seeing, these financial companies really suffering right now. And look, I think this is something that's going to continue as people and investors, big time investors, are really concerned about holding the dollar or fiat, for example. So where are they going to go? That is the question, and maybe that is where George is getting his $50,000 Bitcoin prediction from. And that could happen, right? And we'll get into why in a moment. We've got here Justin, $10 trillion asset manager, BlackRock CEO, says more bank seizures could occur after the Silicon Valley Bank. I completely align to this. I think we're going to see more pain. We have been calling for more pain, more severe pain before things get better. Now, the question is, where do people put their money? And that is, the big question. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that in the comments below. Bitcoin smashes past 26K as the CPI report shows inflation held steady in February. And this is going to be interesting, right? Because I'm really on the fence as to where we go from here, right? And people can say you've been calling this and you've been calling that, and I think that we've been looking at what is happening both in the technical analysis and in the financial markets, and looking at the financial landscape, and that is an ever moving view, I guess. Like, things change on an hourly basis, a daily basis, a weekly basis, and what we do here at Cheeky Crypto is we monitor all of those things, and we try to predict as where we're going. And it's a difficult thing to do. If it was easy, everybody would do it and everyone would be successful. But we have avoided losing money in the likes of all of these collapses with exchanges, the likes of FTX, BlockFi, Voyager, the collapse of Luna, and all of that stuff. We've literally not been affected by all of this because of the stuff that we look at in the data. And what I would say is, there is a very different landscape financially to what anybody's experienced in their lifetime, and many people are going to get absolutely wrecked. It's not an easy thing to do. But look, the CPI data is a big deal, and the reason why it's a big deal is because what do the Fed look to do? Do the Fed look to increase interest rates? Do they do hikes? Do they pause it? And Jeremy has come out and said that basically, what's better, that we sit here and do nothing? This, and I shared a short video on the channel. Go check it out. Where he's basically being asked all these questions, and he's like, well, I can't just leave it. But now the question is, does he just leave it and contradict everything that the guy's been saying? And the Fed have been saying they're going one way, but if they pivot now, I still don't think that that's a good thing, because printing their way out of this is just kicking the can down the road, in my opinion. So look, it might be good in the short term, but maybe not in the medium term. We've got Bitcoin will soon shatter 250,000 per BTC, says billionaire Tim Draper. Now, like, we get, you get given labels for coming up with ridiculous price predictions. I think it'll eventually get there, but I just think that this is not the landscape that you should be saying these sorts of things. Signature Bank was shut down to send an anti-crypto message, and this is an interesting one. I'm going to share this in the Discord, so read through this one at your leisure. What I would say is, look, I think there is an attack on crypto. I think the banks are struggling. The financial markets, traditional finance is struggling. I think there's a silent war going on between fintech and the financial, traditional financial sector. For example, banking. And I really do believe that fintech is winning, and I think that we're seeing the banks linked to crypto being the ones that are failing here, and it looks like, particularly with this Signature Bank, that they weren't actually like illiquid. They weren't actually in a really bad position. It just looked like regulators took a chance and potentially just closed it down and took over to send a message to people that crypto is really, really bad. And why is that? Because bonds, are going down, or they're selling bonds, I should say. Investors are selling bonds, and then they've got to look at what they, where they place their money, because they don't want to be in fiat. So they normally go to scarce assets. That could be gold, that could be silver, that could be Bitcoin, for example. So maybe there is an element of truth that some of these big time investors will move into something like Bitcoin, and we will see that, that run. It's also coming up to the halving and all that sort of stuff. So you've got all of these arguments. But what I would say is the landscape just does not look good. For all these big time investors looking to move into these scarce assets, I do believe that many are going to go into gold and silver. There will be a percentage that go into the likes of Bitcoin. But really, retail are a very important mechanism for cryptocurrency, and they're going to be left, basically in a position where they're going to have to sell their crypto. We're seeing credit card debts increase. We're seeing savings being reduced because we believe that they're paying their credit card bills and other loans and debt with that saving money, and that pot is drying up. So look, I don't think that this is a particularly good landscape. There's many people that align with us. There's many people that don't align with us. But look, we're not financial advisors. We do this as educational purposes only. I think it's always good to have an open mind and look at both sets of arguments. And I'm looking here at George's $50,000 prediction for Bitcoin. It could happen. This is the really unusual circumstance that we find ourselves in. There is nobody that has experienced what we're experiencing now in their lifetime. So yeah, look, let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comments below. I stick to what I've said. I expect to come down to new lower lows. I really don't think that we've got a really good macro landscape. And I think that we're going to see more pain. I don't think the Fed can just sit there and do nothing. And I think either way, whatever they do, I think we're going to suffer. So yeah, look, I expect lower lows, but that's not a guarantee. So you do you, and I will do me. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will catch you in the next one.